Russia announced a new round of large-scale nuclear exercises, igniting fresh fears that Vladimir Putin is actively preparing for potential confrontation with NATO. As part of these drills, Russian troops are being trained to use tactical nuclear weapons on the territory of Belarus, a country that directly borders several NATO members. Putin has deployed 64,000 personnel and some 7,800 pieces of military equipment for these nuclear drills, highlighting the large scale of the operation with a close ally near NATO borders. In a major show of force, Russia is flexing more than 200 missile launchers, 140 aircraft, 73 surface ships and 13 submarines, sending a pointed nuclear signal to the West. On May 19, Russia's defense ministry announced the start of three-day strategic nuclear exercises scheduled to run from May 19 to May 21. The drills are designed to prepare Russian forces to respond to external threats, with a focus on strategic deterrence and nuclear readiness. The main objective, according to the ministry, is to practice how Russia would deploy its nuclear forces under conditions of an emerging or perceived threat. The exercises will involve around 64,000 military personnel and approximately 7,800 pieces of military equipment. This inventory includes more than 200 missile launchers, about 140 aircraft, 73 surface ships and 13 submarines. Reports say that among the submarines taking part are 8 Russian strategic nuclear submarines, which form part of the country's sea-based nuclear forces. The drills will feature launches of ballistic and cruise missiles from units based in Russia's Leningrad and central military districts. As part of the exercise, troops will also be instructed in how to operate Russian tactical nuclear weapons that have been deployed on the territory of Belarus. These strategic drills follow a statement one day earlier from Belarus Defense Ministry, which said it had launched its own nuclear-related exercises in coordination with Russia. According to Belarus Defense Ministry, missile forces and aircraft units are participating in the drills, which focus on nuclear deployment operations. The ministry said troops will practice the preparation and delivery of nuclear munitions as part of the training program. Officials added that the exercises will test combat readiness from unprepared and unplanned locations, stressing flexibility in launch and deployment options. Military units will also train in concealment and long-distance movement, underscoring efforts to make nuclear-related forces harder to detect and target. Belarus has insisted that the drills are not directed against third countries, and claims they pose no threat to regional security. The exercises are taking place amid rising tensions between Russia and NATO, adding to Western concerns about nuclear signaling in Europe. Just days before these drills, Russia carried out a test of its nuclear-capable Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile, further heightening strategic unease. Russian President Vladimir Putin received a formal report on the test from senior missile force commanders overseeing the launch. According to Russian reports, Putin then reviewed detailed information about the Sarmat test during a video conference with top defense officials. Putin said that Russia has greatly modernized its nuclear deterrent since the early 2000s, citing new systems introduced over the past 2 decades. He also described the Sarmat as the most powerful missile system currently in the world, highlighting its payload and range. The Russian president claimed that the missile's total warhead power exceeds comparable Western strategic systems by around 4 times.
Work on improving deterrent forces resumed in Russia and has not stopped since the early 2000s. Back then we had no time for this. To put it bluntly, Russia was going through a very difficult period in its history. But after the United States withdrew from the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty in 2002, we were forced to, I want to emphasize this, we were forced to think about ensuring our strategic security in the new reality and the need to maintain a strategic balance of forces, parity. That is precisely why, I would like to emphasize this once again, Russia has begun work on the development of advanced systems that have no equivalent anywhere in the world and are guaranteed to overcome both existing and future missile defense systems. We are systematically implementing the Nuclear Forces Development Program established in response to this. In 2004, we began work on the intercontinental Avangard missile system. Since 2019, it has been on combat duty. Then we developed the medium-range air-launched Kinshal hypersonic missile, which has been on duty since 2017. It is already being used during the special military operation, but work on its improvement continues, including on accuracy in non-nuclear equipment. Since 2025, the medium-range ground-based Oreshnik missile system has been on combat duty, which can also be equipped with nuclear warheads. We are finishing work on 2 systems with small nuclear propulsion systems, the unique unmanned underwater Poseidon vehicle and the unique global-range Buvesnik cruise missile. Now let's speak about Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile. We started working on it in 2011. In 2018, these works and the advantages of new prospective missile systems, including Sarmat, were publicly announced. Let me remind you what was discussed then and the advantages of our newest system. Firstly, it is the most powerful missile system in the world, not inferior in power to the Soviet-developed Voyvoda missile system in service with us. The total power of the warhead is more than 4 times the power of any most powerful existing Western counterpart. Secondly, and this is most crucial, the missile can travel not only along a ballistic, but also a suborbital trajectory, which allows it to exceed its range of over 35,000 kilometers, with simultaneously doubled accuracy characteristics and with the capability to overcome all existing and future missile defense systems. By the end of this year, Sarmat will be put on combat duty. Congratulations to the Defense Ministry, all participants, researchers, engineers, defense industrial complex production organizers, prime contractors on this major event and infallible success. Thank you for your work in strengthening Russia's defense capabilities. Good afternoon, Sergei Viktorovich. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, Supreme Commander-in-Chief.
Please, go ahead, Sergei Viktorovich.
Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, today at 11:15, the Strategic Rocket Forces conducted a test launch of the latest heavy liquid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missile Sarmat. The launch was successful and achieved all objectives. The test results confirmed that the design and technological solutions adopted were accurate and that the missile system meets the specified performance criteria. The ground-based strategic missile system with an intercontinental ballistic missile Sarmat is being developed to replace the Soviet-made Voyvoda system. The Sarmat surpasses its predecessor in combat capabilities, especially in its flight range, payload capacity, operational readiness, and anti-missile defense capabilities, which ensure it can reliably evade existing and prospective anti-missile defense systems. The system is being developed by the joint Stark company Makiv Rocket Design Bureau in collaboration with the industrial sector. The successful test launch of the Sarmat missile system enables us to deploy the first missile regiment equipped with this system to combat duty in the Uzhersky military unit, Krasnoyarsk region, by the end of this year. The deployment of launchers equipped with the Sarmat missile system will significantly enhance the combat capabilities of the ground-based strategic nuclear forces in delivering guaranteed strikes against targets and fulfilling strategic deterrence tasks. The task set for this launch has been completed. We will now proceed with the tasks related to putting it on combat duty. Report finished.
Congratulations, Sergei Viktorovich. I wish you every success.
Moscow has steadily increased its nuclear signaling as the Ukraine war has escalated, using both rhetoric and exercises to warn NATO. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed on May 16 that Russia is preparing to use Belarusian territory as a platform to attack either Ukraine or NATO countries.